Welcome back, everybody. This time we're going deep into African coffee production.
Ooh, sounds interesting.
Not just how much they grow, though,
Right.
but how efficiently they're doing it.
Okay.
And what it means for, well, things like reducing poverty,
I see.
improving education, protecting the environment,
Big topics.
all while growing those beans we love so much. We're using a research article. It's called Evaluating the Impact of Agricultural Production Efficiency on Sustainable Development Goals in Coffee-Producing Countries in Africa.
Okay.
But here's the really cool part. The lead author, Qiyu Yang, based in Taiwan.
Okay.
He's not only a university professor,
Oh, wow.
but also, get this, a respected expert in coffee roasting.
Really? So he knows it, like inside and out.
Right. From farm to cup, as they say.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So jumping right in, the research highlights this kind of stark reality.
Yeah.
Climate change, already impacting those regions, growing our morning coffee.
It's happening everywhere, but yeah.
And think about it, 70% of coffee production happens in tropical zones.
Yeah, that's right.
And those are super sensitive to any changes in, like, temperature, rainfall.
And coffee plants they're kind of picky.
Aren't they?
Got to have just the right conditions.
Goldilocks zone for coffee.
Exactly. Too little water, bad beans.
Right.
Too much, roots can rot.
Yeah.
Climate change is messing with that whole balance.
Okay, so climate's a huge factor, no doubt.
For sure.
But this research, they wanted to understand efficiency too, right?
Yeah, like how well these countries are using their resources to produce that coffee.
And for that, they used, I'm just going to say it, DNDDF.
I was going to say, that's a mouthful.
It is, but stick with me. Think of it like a dynamic X-ray.
Okay.
It shows us how a country's efficiency changes, year by year.
Oh, so it's not just like a one-time measurement.
Nope. We can see trends, ups and downs, the whole picture.
That's way more useful to see how things are evolving.
Exactly. And it helps us analyze how things like political stability or access to technology, all that affects coffee production over time.
Makes sense.
So it's a way to track progress, see where things need improvement.
Right.
But hold on, there's more.
Oh, always a twist.
This model, it doesn't just stop at the farm,
What do you mean?
Two-stage approach, they call it.
Okay.
They look at what happens after those beans are harvested, too.
Interesting.
Connecting the dots between how they farm and how the country progresses towards those big UN goals, Sustainable Development Goals.
SDGs. Yeah, I know those, but remind us what they're all about again.
Good point. It's about things like making sure everyone has access to good education,
Yeah.
decent jobs, protecting the environment, all the important stuff.
Gotcha. So it's not just about like churning out coffee at any cost.
Exactly. It's got to benefit the people, the planet.
Yeah.
It's got to be a win-win-win.
I like that win-win-win.
So now that we get how they measure efficiency, who's coming out on top?
Well, based on data from 2014 to 2018,
Fairly recent then.
yeah, Central African Republic, Ethiopia, Liberia, Uganda, and Zambia.
Oh, lots of variety there.
They're the efficiency leaders making the most of what they've got.
Okay. Any surprises at the other end of the list?
Sadly,
Yeah.
yeah. Burundi, Malawi, and Guinea, they were lagging behind during that same period.
Oh, that's too bad.
Could be lots of reasons, right? Political instability, maybe trouble adopting new farming techniques, who knows?
It's a reminder that there's no, magic formula for this stuff. Every country is different.
One size fits all doesn't work here.
But here's where things get kind of weird.
Oh, boy.
The study found that when it came to sustainable development, those developing economies,
Yeah.
they were actually behind the least developed countries.
Huh. That doesn't sound right.
Even though they were better at producing coffee, it's like backwards.
It does seem counterintuitive, but there might be reasons for it.
Like what?
Well, developing economies, they might have better machinery, technology.
So more efficient farming,
Exactly. But that can also mean higher labor costs.
which leads to,
Unemployment, yeah. And that impacts their sustainable development score.
so it's like a trade-off.
In a way, yeah. At least developed countries, they might rely on more labor-intensive methods,
So more jobs.
but maybe not as efficient in terms of like how much coffee they produce.
A real balancing act then.
It highlights how complex this all is, measuring sustainable development.
It's not just about the economy. Got to think about the people, too.
It's about making sure that growth helps everyone and doesn't hurt the environment in the process.
Totally agree. Sustainability is a big word for a reason.
Yeah, it's a reminder that sustainability has so many dimensions to it.
Okay. So we talked about climate change a bit. Let's go back to that for a sec.
Sure.
They specifically looked at rainfall, right?
They did. And it turns out rainfall has a huge impact on overall efficiency.
I can see that, yeah.
And this is extra important because, well, climate change is making rainfall less predictable.
Ah, right. All over the place.
Exactly. Some areas are getting way heavier downpours than usual.
And that's bad for coffee.
It can be. Those shifts make it tougher for the plants to, really thrive.
Right. Like they need the right amount of rain, not just some rain.
It's true. Imagine trying to bake a cake, right?
Okay.
You put in too much of one ingredient, too little of another. It's all messed up.
Bruise the whole thing.
Coffee's kind of similar. Got to have that balance.
That makes sense.
So far, we've been talking about efficiency at a, specific moment.
Like a snapshot, right?
Yeah, but they also looked at how productivity changes over time.
Ah, so are they getting better at it year after year?
You got it. For that, they use the Malmquist Productivity Index, or MPI.
Another acronym.
I know, but think of this one like a time-lapse video.
Okay, I'm visualizing.
It shows us if a country's producing more coffee with the same resources as time goes on.
So are they getting more efficient long term?
That's the question. And overall, they found a slight upward trend.
That's good, right?
It is. It means things are moving in the right direction. But
Just always a but.
there was a big difference between developing and least developed countries. Those developing economies, they had much stronger productivity growth.
Makes sense. They probably have more resources to begin with.
Probably, yeah. Better access to tech, infrastructure, all that.
Like having the right tools for the job.
Exactly. It makes a huge difference long term. Think of it like having a simple hand grinder for your coffee beans.
Versus like a fancy electric one.
Perfect analogy. Both work, but one's way faster, more consistent.
So having those resources can really boost a country's success.
For sure. But it's not the whole story, of course.
Right. There's got to be more to it.
It all ties back to that idea of sustainability, remember?
It's not just about how much coffee you can produce. It's how you do it.
Exactly. And how it impacts the people, the environment, the whole picture.
This deep dive is really showing how complex it all is.
It is, but that's what makes it fascinating.
I'm learning a lot, that's for sure.
Me too. And it makes you think about your own coffee choices, doesn't it?
Now that you mention it, yeah. Like, what impact am I having?
We're all part of this global system. Every cup we drink tells a story.
About the farmers, the producers, everyone involved.
And those choices have consequences, good and bad.
So what can we do? What choices should we be making?
Glad you asked. There are definitely things we can do to have a positive impact.
So we talked about certifications. What else can we do to make a difference?
Well, we can support organizations working to promote sustainable agriculture.
Like what kinds of organizations?
Lots out there, helping coffee growing communities.
Okay, yeah.
Think about it. Farmer training programs, maybe?
That's a good one.
Or helping them get access to better equipment.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sometimes they work on infrastructure, too.
Oh, like roads and stuff.
Could be, yeah. Or developing local markets, advocating for fairer trade policies.
Lots of different angles.
It's a big puzzle.
So we've got choosing certified coffee, supporting those organizations. Anything else we can do?
Honestly, just talking about it helps.
You mean like spreading the word?
Exactly. Talk to friends, family, whoever.
About sustainable coffee.
Yeah, the more people know about it, the more demand there is for change.
It's like voting with your wallet, but also with your voice.
I like that. Voting with your voice.
The whole deep dive has been honestly eye-opening.
For me, too.
I'm going to be checking those certifications from now on.
Good.
And looking into those organizations, see how I can help.
It's amazing how a simple cup of coffee connects us to all this,
Global issues. Yeah, it's bigger than I thought.
And we can each play a part, making things better for those farmers and communities.
That's empowering, actually.
It is.
Well, think it's time for another cup.
Me too.
This time, I'll be savoring it, knowing a little more.
Cheers to that. May your next cup be delicious and mindful.
Here's to a future where every cup makes a difference.
Absolutely. A healthier planet, a more just world.
Couldn't have said it better myself.